Hi, good morning to all of you. My name is Linda, and I'm here to share with you a movement and a program in Special Olympics called the Young Athletes Program. Now, this segment, who is it for? For those of you who come from the mainstream school, you may be a teacher, you may be a leader in the mainstream school. Listen attentively. There are so many things that you can get from this program for your students to grow in their characters and develop their values. If you are a parent of a person with special needs, this is the program for you. Your young child, younger than 7 years old, can come and enjoy the program together with their sisters, their brothers, the parents and the grandparents and the cousins. Right, so let's start. Special Olympics is really for family. We want families to come together, to participate together, because the idea is sports is for all. So let's watch young athletes in action.
When I play, I can do amazing things. I can run, I can jump, and I'm still learning to do more.
Special Olympics young athletes helped young children around the world discover their abilities and develop their strengths through the power of sport and play. Young Athletes introduces basic sports skills like kicking and throwing through fun activities to children with and without intellectual disabilities, ages 2 to 7. Children of all ability levels participate, and they all benefit. They develop important motor skills, grow stronger, build confidence at every milestone, and learn to interact and communicate with others. Families share in the fun and learn to support their child's development. And everyone learns acceptance and friendship. With activities in more than 125 countries, Young Athletes reaches children around the world, giving families, communities, and schools the tools to create inclusive environments and help children of all abilities unlock their potential and envision brighter hopes for the future.
I love to play. It makes me happy to play with friends, and it helps me be the best I can be. So come on, let's play together.
So what does the Young Athletes Program benefit our young athletes? Well, there are so many benefits. The first one, of course, is motor skills. Now, in participating in these activities in a fun way, they don't really think about what they're doing, but actually, they're practicing all their motor skills. Then also, in a program like this, they need to interact with their volunteers, they need to interact with their siblings, they need to engage with other young athletes, and so they practice their social emotional skills of turn-taking, of waiting, of asking, of losing, of winning. So these are some of the benefits. Then, of course, we have the expectations. You as parents of young athletes, maybe you think, your child may not be able to excel in sports. Well, come to this program. Special Olympics Young Athletes Program will show you your young athletes can do so much if you just give them the opportunities. Of course, Young Athletes is also the platform where we are trying to prepare them for sports in later years. In these formative years, it is learning about basic fundamental skills. These basic fundamental skills will then move on to sports skills like bowling, floorball, soccer, all the sports. So this is the stepping point for them. Of course, we are also looking at young athletes having a platform for acceptance for all persons involved in the program to understand that we all live together in this community and we can all work together. So it's acceptance and creating an inclusive society. So really, if you think you're a parent and you don't know anything about sports, rest assured, Go into the Special Olympics International website. There are so many resources for you to access, for you to read, for you to watch videos. So there in the resources, there is this introductory information. There is also another page where you have activity guides. So a description of what kind of activities you can do with your children. There's also videos, okay, that you can access. Watch them, and they're really short clips, easy to follow videos. There's also a curriculum that's available for everybody to access, to look at and to see where your young athletes are and to move from there. There's also some information if you are wanting to be a coach for young athletes. There is some information where you can read and then you can watch. And of course, for our families, okay, how young athletes bonds a family together, what you can do as a family together, all these resources and videos are available in the website. So really, Special Olympics Young Athletes Program is for everybody. If you are from a school, a mainstream school, I encourage you to open up your school, get a couple of your students, and we will provide you with the athletes, and we will provide you with some training, and you can start a young athletes program there. Know that you are going to make a difference. And after, you are going to hear Kevan. He's going to share the experience from his school and his students. After hearing from him, I am very sure every school is wanting to jump on this bandwagon to have a young athletes program in your school. If you have a young athletes program in your school, know that you are going to reach athletes and you are going to build up the values in your own students. So, at the end of this Young Athletes program, we have something called a Ribbons Day, and that's a celebration of everybody coming together. Of course, the key figure is the young athlete himself or herself. This is where he or she gets to demonstrate his skills, and then the parents get to see what a wonderful achievement the athletes have done, and the volunteers, wow. The volunteers get to see their achievements of over through this period, what they have, the young athletes have achieved. So really, volunteers, we are looking for more schools, we are looking for more centers because we truly believe in the young athletes movement. We really want this to be in every part of Singapore. So listen out for Kevan and his experiences from his students, and we hope to hear from you soon. Kevan?
Hi everyone, my name is Kevan. Thank you so much for taking time off to come and attend my sharing. Alright, so the title of my sharing is The Best Lesson in Life Happens Outside the Classroom. And through my sharing, I wish to share what I've tried with my students through the VIA program that my school partnered with Special Olympics. Next slide. Alright, so what I do for a living, for about 16% of my life, I'm a secondary school mathematics teacher. As a sports enthusiast as well, I'm privileged to be a teacher in charge of badminton, handball, and most recently floorball in school as well. I'm in the committee, VIA committee, which stands for Values in Action, where we plan year-round VIA program for students from across the level, the stream, and so on. So in the picture, it's a silly picture of me, dressed in Pac-Man, because I strive to make an impact, to my students. Hence, my Teachers' Day attire. I don't wear this on a normal basis, but just for Teachers' Day in 2015. Right? So more about me. Kevan in 3, 2, 1. That's how you spell my name as well. I'm a proud uncle of 3. The oldest niece being in JC1 this year. I have another one in Sec 3 and also another one in Sec 1. I'm a proud father of 2 as well. So most recently, I welcome my son. Right, very young. His name is Young, and I'm also a proud husband of 1. Definitely only 1. Okay. So a little more about me as a volunteer. So besides teaching, I'm an avid volunteer as well. So throughout my time as a teenager, I'm active with my volunteering across different organizations, different causes. On the local scene, I did tuition, free tuition with my alma mater, Changkat Chinese Secondary School, also with Beyond Social Services and Singapore Prison Services as well. All right, I did a few Flag Day with Apex Harmony Lodge and ACRES. All right, and through doing Flag Day, that kind of formulate what kind of educator I hope my student would experience. Okay, in terms of the VIA program that they choose to embark on. Next slide. Right, so how it all began. Back in 2017, when I was in charge of the badminton CCA, I decided to look for a CCA VIA for badminton. So a friend of mine introduced me to his friend, who is also a volunteer in Special Olympics Badminton Outreach. So after heading down to this session, we decided to partner Special Olympics for two programs. One is the Badminton Outreach, the other one is the Young Athletes Program, as you can see in the photos on the next slide. Right, so we really got those who are interested to volunteer to come first, and in the photos you can see them having fun through team bonding and also having fun with group photo at the end of the young athlete session. So some of the questions that they will ask me would be, and I'm open to questions being asked by the students. You know, one of it is like, wow, Mr. Lee, I thought we come here to teach them badminton here. How come they are stronger than us? Right? Well, some of the athletes are, learning, still learning badminton skills and so on. But some of the athletes in the outreach are skillful, and that is a humbling experience for my students as well. In the Young Athletes Program, students also ask me, Mr. Lee, why this child looks like this, why these child behave in a certain way, and all this we would have a discussion towards the end of the session. Yeah, and I find all this discussion very rich for their learning as well. Next slide. All right, so moving on to 2018, more students sign up. So this is a group photo of really like a lot more students for the Young Athletes Program. And on the bottom left, you can see my niece, which is why I shared with you that I'm a proud uncle, really getting my niece and my family members to be on board what I'm doing as well. Next slide. So 2019, beyond just my CCA badminton, we got the whole school, those who are interested, across from Sec 1 to Sec 4, regardless of your CCA, whether you're from the sports CCA, whether you're from the uniform group, performing arts and so on, to just join to experience the young athletes. And so this is the program that they had back in 2019. Next slide. And with this experience, they hit the street to get people to donate on the Flag Day. And when they are sharing with the public what they do on their session, what's their experience like, and who are they donating for, what is the cost, what is the purpose of it, they were able to share their experience much more eloquently. Next slide. So a lot more programs we partnered with Special Olympics in 2019. We partnered Play Inclusive, where some of my students were athlete buddies and some of my students were competition officials. Next slide. Last year was a challenging year for all of us because we can't do face-to-face interaction. So we had to go online. Circuit breaker, CB, right? We did our badminton outreach online. And so that got me thinking why not young athletes online as well? So next slide. So let's have a look at a video of having young athletes online, something like a ECCA, whereby students stand in front of the screen, the athletes is in front of their screen at home, us in school, doing sports together, doing exercises together. So enjoy the video.
'Cause I'm in the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Kink out, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top of the brown. Ding dong, call me on my phone, nice tea and I'll get my ping pong. This is dead heavy, can't hit a baseball, I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey, yeah, this beach chain like money. This go all alone, I'm into that, I'm good to go, I'm diamond, you know I glow up. Hey, so let's go. 'Cause
Right, so what you see in the video is really the actual day, what has happened in terms of the activities, the program. But behind the scene, there were a lot of planning, and there were a lot of organization. Okay, so first of all would be the logistics. All right, so laptop, speakers, charger, DSLR, all this got to be ready. All right, so I'm kind of blessed that I was the e-supervisor for my oral examination because it's all about setting up the venue, getting everything ready so that the program can be run smoothly. So what you see in the picture there is really the laptops which we use for our online Zoom session, and also the speakers so that we can hear what the athletes are saying and so on. Next slide. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. That's something I believe strongly. So I got my students to really sit down together to think about the kind of exercises, the kind of activities that they want the athletes to experience on the day itself. Yeah, so what they did is they did a bit of research online. They looked at various resources across YouTube, Facebook. Some of them created Facebook account just to check out some of the sports group that they do for young kids, exercises for young kids, and they wrote down their lesson plan on the butcher sheet, as what you can see in the photo. It's them refining what they want to say, what they want to execute on the actual day itself. All right, and they apply what they learn as well, because they know that being young kids, having young kids as their audience, they might not be able to relate to too much words that they are saying. So they printed out illustration, pictures to show to the athletes via the camera, so that when they are saying the storyline, they know the elephants are big. Elephants are big, so they can know, elephants. So that's a picture of the elephant, and they are supposed to spread their hands out wide for their stretching. All right, so this really applying what they learn. And fortunate to have Linda and Tiffany from Special Olympics to do a crash course for my students as well, so that they can level up as a volunteer. Next slide. All right, and they came 1.5 hour much earlier before the actual session to rehearse, to test the camera, to test the audio, to test the visual, and to anticipate any problems that may happen. Thankfully, we found there's a power trip in the hall. Yeah, because the laptops weren't charging, and we started panicking, and we got it resolved right before the session, so everything was good. So really coming much earlier to troubleshoot for any potential issue that may happen. Slide. And along the way, you can plan for everything you want in the world, but if the athlete is not following, if the athlete is not finding it fun, they are not interested, then it defeats the purpose, the whole idea of the activities plan. Yeah, so my students were taught to be flexible. My students were taught to adjust accordingly to the athlete's ability and interest. When I talk about athletes' ability, not necessarily that they can't follow, but some of them may be too advanced for the ball game, maybe too advanced for the exercise. So they have to make it adapt to the athlete's ability, so that the athlete can feel the challenge, can feel the stretch, and eventually enjoy the session. Right. So what you see in the slides, some of the athletes enjoyed dancing more. So this group on the top left, they did a lot more dancing as compared to what they have planned originally. Right, some prefer the ball game a lot more, and also some prefer static exercises. So on the right, it's really storytelling, illustrating a trip to the zoo, how some of the animals are moving, and getting athletes to move together with them as well. All right, so this slide you see is on the last session. The athletes actually requested for gummy bear dance. Gummy bear dance. We want a gummy bear dance again. So we did the gummy bear dance on the second session, and the kids kind of enjoyed it such that they requested for the gummy bear dance again on the last session. So it's not part of the last session plan, but my students were able to improvise and load one of the YouTube video on the left of the screen, and able to follow the dance and show the athletes, and we did it, and the athletes enjoyed it. So we're thankful that my students were able to improvise on the spot. All right. Typically, after every session, what we do is we have a reflection, and it's important for all the participants to talk about their experience, to raise all the questions that they have collated throughout, and we answer them. And we listen to each other's perspectives so that we can all grow as volunteers. So this is a quick reflection from Akila, sent through WhatsApp. right? So let me read this out to you. There was still 20 minutes left after we had completed what we initially planned. Hence, I was very proud as we improvised on the spot by adding a ball activity and also managed to get to know more about the athlete. All right, next slide. So this is from Adi. Adi is our first time volunteering in Special Olympics. So she said that, I think the athletes I interacted with were able to teach me so much more when it came to not giving up, adjusting to being out of your comfort zone, and how they were willing to try something new since it's done virtually for the first time. And the last one, Samantha. Samantha is the second year volunteering with us. Last year, she did young athletes as well. So she came back this year again, hoping to make a difference, because last year she felt that she wasn't too active a volunteer. So this is her second goal. So this is what she shared with me. She shared that this Nadia, who is the athlete's sister, has helped me with being more patient with younger children. I wanted to learn more about different types of children, and learn how to take care of them, teach them, and get closer with them, so that I can build my relationship with my younger brother, who also has Down syndrome. Right? So all this kind of sharing and reflection is very rich to the learning of every volunteer, because as we learn from each other, as we understand what's running through their mind, we are able to level up collectively. So in summary, what I feel about volunteering is it's definitely good to start young as Sec 1. Some of my better volunteers came from Sec 1, right? Contrary to the idea that, are they able to handle the maturity of what we are doing here? All right, but they bring so much innocence and so much passion to what they do, right? So it's all right to start young. Okay, and when we are volunteering, it's not so much about me helping them. I'm a volunteer, you're the beneficiary, and so on. What I always tell my student is that focus on building the relationship. It's not so much about them knowing how to do a chest pass. It's not so much about them knowing how to do a bounce pass. Build on the relationship. Get to know them. Make friends with them first. All right. Instead of calling them, beneficiary, call them buddy, athletes. All right. Respect them for who they are. All right, and ask questions. Don't judge, and do not assume that they don't know this and so on. Respect each other. We're all human beings. All right. Second last slide. Right. So my hope for the future is really to narrow down the bathtub effect of volunteerism. All right, and that students will continue to volunteer even as they enter the workforce. All right, and last slide. Sorry. Right, if you wish to collaborate with me, do take a photo of my email address. Okay, I know it's quite hard to write it down, and I look forward to your questions. Thank you so much.